I've got a lot of wheel bearing noise. I wanted you guys to hear what that sounded like. There's 75 mile an hour. In here it's pretty noisy. I don't know if you can hear it on that video or not. As I go a little bit faster, it will quiet down. As I slow down, it will quiet down. So we'll get those changed and show you how that's done, and then listen to you afterwards. Alright, so we're changing those wheel bearings out. First you want to take off the tire. The next thing that you're going to want to do is on the inside here there's bolts you want to take out that hold on the caliper. There's one on the top side and one on the bottom side. Then you'll want to take off the rotor. To take off the rotor, generally it's going to be stuck. So there's two holes here. Let's take an 8mm bolt. As you run those in, it pushes against the hub and frees the rotor from the hub assembly. Alright, once you remove the 17mm bolts from holding the caliper on, you'll want to take, I took a coat hanger and just hung the caliper up. Keeps all the weight off of the actual brake line. You'll next need to remove, back here's the speed sensor. It's a 10mm bolt. Take that out, and then we can tighten in these two 8mm bolts on the rotor itself. If we pull this speed sensor out, you can see down in here there's a dust shield that's got a hole in it. When we put it all back together, we want to make sure that that hole gets in the right spot of that dust shield. With the rotor off, we're going to need to take off this 30mm axle nut. You'll need a 12-point socket for that, and probably a pry bar and a second set of hands to hold the assembly from turning. Once that axle nut's off here, you'll want to take a fairly large punch, put into the end of that axle and hammer that so it becomes loose from the splines. With the axle loose, we'll want to, right here is a dust shield. We want to get in there and actually pry that away from the housing. The actual procedure from Toyota says to remove this whole steering knuckle, and we found out from the other side that that's not necessarily necessary. We can just pry that out and move it out of the way to get to these 4 bolts around that hold the hub assembly on. Otherwise, with this dust cover there, you can't get a socket on that nut. Now with that dust shield out of the way, we can kind of move it around and get to these 4 bolts. They're a 14mm, so you can, just like that, move that dust shield out of the way to get to those. Once we remove those, we'll be able to pull the hub assembly off. The next step is going to be pulling off the hub assembly from the steering knuckle itself. Now, with our experience from the other side, the steering knuckle is aluminum, the hub itself is steel. Once you get dissimilar metals together, they like to corrode themselves, and you get a lot of oxidation, and they adhere themselves to each other. So what we're going to have to do is use a slide hammer. It will have to go over the wheel studs. We'll bolt those down, and then we will apply some heat to this side here with a oxyacetylene torch. You don't want to put too much heat into it, but enough heat, it will disperse itself throughout the aluminum, allowing the aluminum to expand and hopefully break free and allow this wheel bearing hub assembly to come out. With the slide hammer, what we ended up doing, by all that pressure, it pulled the hub assembly out of the wheel bearing. So if that happens, don't be alarmed. What you're going to need to do then is our slide hammer is the size that we can put one bolt here and one bolt on the other side directly into this. The steering knuckle has through holes, so we don't have to worry about our bolting into the knuckle itself. It will only go into the hub assembly, and then we use a slide hammer to pull out the wheel bearing this way. We had to apply heat and some spray penetrant in behind the wheel bearing to kind of free things up a little bit. It has moved some. You can move that right now, so we're making progress on it. Once you get that wheel bearing assembly out, you can see all the corrosion up inside of here. We want to make sure that we get all that corrosion off. That way the new wheel bearing can go in. So use some type of scraper to get the excess off, and then take some fine grit sandpaper and go in there and clean it up a little bit. Now when you go to put this back on, you can use the bolts to pull it into place. Don't use a air gun on it to get it started though. Also, you want to make sure that this heat shield, this dust shield, is faced towards the back and it's pointed the right direction. They've got these cutouts here that go around the ball joints. Make sure it's going the right way, because these can be used for either side, so there's several bolt holes in it. We'll want to tighten these up as tight as we can get them, and then we should be good to put the brake back on. I'll show you that dust shield on the back side here, how to get it into place. But essentially what you're going to want to do is when you start putting this axle nut on, it's going to pull the axle in, which is also going to pull this dust shield. So you want to make sure that that hole lines up on the other side where the speed sensor goes in. So basically what you have to do here is look in here, make sure that dust shield is centered. We can take it on this back side and we can spin it. So make sure it lines up as you're tightening this front nut, because it will pull it in and tighten it down. This is the back side here. We need to get that dust shield. You can see the shiny area there. We want to make sure that we get this dust shield set all the way back down in. If we just left it like that, then the CV axle would be hitting on that dust shield. So we want to make sure that we seat that all the way around. I'm just going to use a screwdriver, put it on edge like this, and hit it with a small ball peen hammer. Make sure you don't destroy this dust shield. Just tap lightly all the way around, and it should sit in there pretty easy. And once you get this nut tight on the axle here, you'll want to take and peen this back in into position so this won't back its way out. And then we will want to go on this back side here and put your speed sensor back in the hole, tighten that 10mm down, put the brake caliper back on after you put the rotor on, and then the wheel, and we should be good to go. Here's after the wheel bearings.